Do I look cute? I don't think I've ever shown these ears, these little cute ears on the channel before. So today I'm going to tell you guys a story from my college life. It was embarrassing, but I didn't know. Like, I didn't know the answer before it happened. So I'm not embarrassed. It's just really stupid. Okay, so I went to the University of Houston, and this was in September 2012. And they had a couple cafeterias, as colleges do. And I was, I got out of class that morning and it was like lunchtime, and I was able to eat lunch with my friend. I will not disclose her name at this time just in case she doesn't want to be involved in this story. But I went to, this place called the Satellite with my friend. It was basically like a food court kind of area, almost like a mall food court. And they had just opened this restaurant. So there was like a whole lot of people around. It was like the first or second day that this new like Indian restaurant had opened. And I had never had Indian food at this point in my life because I was only like 19, and I was raised by white people, and they don't like spicy food, and we just don't have like access to Indian food other than like restaurants. Yeah, anyway, whatever. So raised by white people, obviously. And so my friend was Pakistani, and she wanted to go get the Indian food because they had halal meat there, which was pretty awesome. So that was a really good option for her. So she went to go in the Indian line, but I was like still hesitant about Indian food because all I had heard was that it's spicy and things like that. I didn't know like that it's very delicious. So thank you, no named friend, for introducing me to Indian food, even though that's not your actual culture. So I went to the neighboring food place, which was just a like a normal like Asian, like almost like mall Asian food. So I went through that line, and she was waiting in the really, really long other line. And so I go through the line, I get my food. I was waiting for her to finish getting her food, and I was just kind of standing there. They had packed everything in like this little not paper, like one of those styrofoam containers. Okay, so I had my food. And then she finally gets through the line. I'm just like staring at her like bored. And, somebody came up to her and they said some things, but it was like a stranger. I didn't know who they were. And then she motioned to me like that, and so I'm like, okay, what is going on? And so, they were like, and then she came over to me. And she's like, hey, they asked me to like sit over there because like they're doing a thing. I don't think she told me anything. She just said like, they asked me to like go sit over there, and I said, can my friend come? And then they said, oh yeah, that's sure. My friend was, I don't know if she was sitting down yet, but I go sit down right next to this random lady that I don't know, random Indian lady. And there's a whole bunch of like students sitting there at that table, and I guess they're doing like some sort of video about like, I don't even know what I knew. I didn't know very much, okay? I don't even know if I saw the cameras, to be quite honest with you. If I saw the cameras, then I probably thought something along the lines of like, I guess they're just trying to get like everyday life in the Satellite kind of thing. Like, I don't know what's going on. So anyway, so I sat down this nice lady. She was really cool. I didn't know who she was. And then my friend sat across from me, and like the lady was right here from me, and then my friend was across from me. So I'm just like, hey, hi, hello. So we sit there, we ate lunch, and I open my food. I start eating. Everyone else is eating, and the lady turns to me and she's like, oh, you don't like Indian food? I'm like, me being a picky person by nature, I'm used to hearing weird stuff like people commenting on what I'm eating. Like, people always comment on what I'm eating because they can't leave well enough alone. And so I just answer like how I always answer. I'm just like, oh, like, I just didn't feel like Indian food today. I was feeling like Chinese today, and she was like, oh, okay, and then like, she had made conversation with me earlier than that, and like I introduced myself, and like, oh, what's your major, like, what grade are you in, blah 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 blah, and then she was like talking to other people too, and blah blah blah, and it was a nice time. And then I ate my food, packed up, and it was time to go to class, and so me and my friend left. And my friend and I, once we got a safe enough distance away, I was like, okay, who was that? Like, I don't know what was going on. Like, what was happening? She's like, that was the president of the university. I'm like, what? It was Rena Couture, the president of University of Houston. And I hadn't recognized her. I think I had seen her before, but I didn't recognize her that day. And I'm just like, ooh. And I was like, what was going on? She was like, they were celebrating the opening of the tandoori night place, because it was like the only Indian food place, and it had like halal meat and everything. And I was like, everyone at that table was there to eat Indian food. And I spat in the face of all of that on accident. I sat there right next to the president of the university, who is Indian. Yes, I think. Who is Indian, and ate my Chinese food right next to the president of university, who is Indian, as I said. So I was like, what? Huh? You didn't tell me that, ma'am. You didn't tell me that we were there to eat Indian food. I had already purchased my Asian food. No one told me that we were there to eat Indian food. And I sat right next to Rena Couture with my Indian food. My non-Indian food. Like, that's so embarrassing. No wonder she asked me why I'm not having Indian food. I bet I looked like a real jerk. I don't know how that happened, but ooh. Anyway, so if that's not good enough, there's video evidence of this, and we're gonna watch that right now. Let's get started.
Well, we just opened an Indian restaurant here in the UC Satellite. It's called Tandoori Night. I have been really wanting to have more international cuisine on campus because we are such a diverse international campus. We have over 5,000 students from all different countries. And the largest population is from India.
We have a lot of vegetarians from like India. So they have a vegetarian option as well. And a lot of the Muslim community, they didn't have a halal meat option, so we gave them that, and they're really, happy about that.
And it's also inviting conversations about India, about the global village, about culture.
Okay, sorry, I got really into the video for some reason. Okay, let me go back. Okay, let me go forward. Okay. So, there's 19-year-old me right here. Okay, so, take note of the framing of this video. They tried very hard to get me and my Asian food out of the frame. And they did a pretty good job of it, actually, because like I was sitting right next to her. So how are you gonna crop me out? How are you gonna crop me out? You're not. That's the answer. So they did the best that they damn well could. So there's my little 19-year-old self. And you know what's really funny is side note. I had a University of Houston t-shirt and a University of Utah t-shirt. And I almost wore the University of Utah t-shirt that day. It was a roll of the dice that I wore the U of H one. So I was at least glad that I didn't add insult to injury, because my dad went to University of Utah, in case you're wondering. So I had that shirt, and I'm just like, I almost wore that shirt. Anyway, okay, so you're about to see, oh my gosh, I can't with this. You're about to see me try to get cropped out more.
About the global village, about cultures, and that's what just so gratifying.
Okay, so you see they made sure to crop it, and up here, you know, to where you can't see what's on the table.
Time I can steal any moments with the students is just so precious.
So I sat with her, chat a little, and it was nice to get to know her and eat some Indian.
You know, I've seen this video a few times, and I never noticed that the camera is shaking a lot. Anyway.
It makes my day, literally. So today, just being with the students and trying Indian cuisine.
Okay. So this is the only shot that they felt like they could get with me in it. And I am dying laughing, because what is that? There's a freaking soy sauce packet on the top of my Chinese food that's, you know, so carefully kept in its plastic container or a styrofoam container, whatever you call it. Anyway, I'm dying. This is like right after I sat down, so my friend hadn't even sat down yet, and I'm just dying because they couldn't crop it out entirely. If you know, you know, guys. If you know, you know. So that little soy sauce packet is the evidence.
Some of them were trying for the first time, and some of them were just hooked onto it. It was lovely just to know what their experience is, see their enthusiasm, excitement, and it just gives me energy to do even more.
I can't with that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little anecdote of my embarrassment, because my no-name friend did not tell me what was going on. And I guess I should have just known. I don't know. I don't know who the people are. Anyway, she was a nice lady, Rena Couture. So, you know, if she ever sees this, hello, Rena Couture. I didn't mean to embarrass you. I just, nobody told me. And now, ironically, I'm addicted to tikka masala, like actually almost addicted. And I wish I had known, so I could go get some tikka masala that day and be delicious. But unfortunately, the chips didn't roll that way, so hope you guys enjoyed my embarrassment. Subscribe if you like this content and you want to follow me, if you want to follow my journeys, and if you want to see some more crafting videos, because I will eventually get back to crafting, but I have a lot going on right now, like moving and some other things like that. So if I am not putting a lot of craft videos, that's kind of why. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and goodbye.